I'm going to give you a complete breakdown of how my live trading session went today, where we went live on Kick and Twitch, where we day trade on Nasdaq and Bitcoin live in front of our audience. And I'm going to show you our wins, our losses, and how the accounts ended towards the end of the day, and what our final P&L was. We're going to break down Bitcoin trade. We took one trade so far today on Bitcoin, and then we're going to break down the 3 trades we took on Nasdaq, which is the max we can take in any day when we're day trading. And let's get into it. We're going to break down Bitcoin first, then head into Nasdaq and break down what happened in Nasdaq. All right, I'm Soul Maniac, and this is my channel. We're about to break into Bitcoin of what kind of trade we took. Bitcoin, let's talk about what happened. Let's talk about the loss. Was it a bad loss? Was it a good loss? What were our confluences and what ended up playing out in this trade? Okay, so on the 5-minute, I was waiting for Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a good move down to the downside here in the open of the market. Lots of fair value gaps on the 5-minute. Lots of 5-minute fair value gaps. As you can see, there was one right here. And I wanted to see price sweep a high before I look for my next entry confluence, which is a 1-minute inverted fair value gap. As you can see right here on this 10:55 a.m. candle, price swept this high on Bitcoin, failing to displace above it, and then giving us a big 5-minute displacement candle off of that, leaving a fair value gap. I was very excited about that. I was like, okay, we're getting finally a direction. We got a sweep of liquidity. We got a displacement on the 5-minute and a lot of displacement on the 1-minute. And I had a limit order originally at the top here, right at this first inverted fair value gap, but then I saw it displace and I saw it form this 5-minute fair value gap right here. This is its gray box right here. I was like, okay, I want to see price retrace back into that 5-minute fair value gap that was just formed. And then if we get an inverse fair value gap, I'll take that one instead. Price originally retraced into the fair value gap, a very small retracement into it, but then gave a displacement off of it and inverting this small bullish fair value gap right here. I took that one. Okay, I got tapped in on this candle. I put my stops at this swing high up here, this highest point up here. Not really a swing high, sorry, that's the incorrect term for this. But the highest point of this move, I wanted to put up there. I wanted to give myself cushion, because after I got tapped in here, I was not going to be surprised if price wanted to play around in this 5-minute fair value gap before it decided to displace down. So I wanted to give myself a buffer. We risked about $50 on this trade. Price tapped me in and then literally just stayed in drawdown pretty much. And I was very surprised that we got tapped out, and then price just ran all the way up to London high here. I'm a little shocked by that, just to be honest with you guys. There was no real sweep of liquidity here at these lows. The 9:50 a.m. candle did have a sweep of these lows, but I wanted price to come back down and tap this low one more time, giving a sweep of liquidity before it reversed, and it never gave me that. So for me, longs did not make sense here. Shorts definitely made sense here. It was tapping this 5-minute fair value gap, left the breakaway gap, displacing. Every time it tapped in this fair value gap, it displaced off. Shorts just made sense. That's what I was seeing. And my model played out when it came to shorts. And so we ended up getting stopped out. For me, this is not at all a bad loss. Like, I don't think I made a mistake here. I think I followed my rules. I think I was very patient, waiting for my confluences, and it happened to lose. So I think a loss like this, for myself, I'm not mad at myself. I'm actually very happy with it. I'm okay with taking a loss on a trade like this. So for you, when you're journaling and you're looking back on your trades, just like I'm doing, this whole video, the reason why I do these videos is, one, for me, I go back and I journal my day, and I can even go for myself, go watch, what did I mess up? What did I do right? And then I can see, did I make a mistake or was I good? And I would say this loss was a good loss. I don't think I messed up. I think I was patient, waited for the proper confluences, and not everyone's going to win. And so it's okay. So Bitcoin today so far is a loss. We could get another trade opportunity maybe later in the day, but for me, at this rate, especially with federal fund rates supposed to be getting cut tomorrow, I'm down to just be done for the day and wait for potential trades tomorrow or the later ends of the week. Once we get this rate cut out of the way and market kind of gets hopefully a clear direction of where it wants to go, up or down. So at the end of the day, with today's Bitcoin trade, we only lost $59.68. We actually were able to take a trade yesterday. I was doing a golf tournament with a nonprofit, so I wasn't actually able to like do my trade recaps and stuff. But yesterday we actually made over $97 on a Bitcoin trade, so we're actually still green for the week. But today we did take a small loss at $59.68 on our Bitcoin trade. So I'm fine with that. It's a good loss. I'm not too upset here. Now let's get into Nasdaq and how did Nasdaq trades go. We took a total of 3 trades on Nasdaq. I'm going to break them down. Which ones did we take? What were the models and why did we take them? Okay, the first trade was called a first candle roll model. I was actually following my mentor on this one, taking a very light risk trade. It was only one MNQ trade. In hindsight, I probably should have just done a normal trade size of 3 MNQ and then been done with the day because this one actually did win. So let me show you what the trade was and why we took it. We marked out the 5-minute opening range. So the first 5-minute candle, we marked out the high and the low of that candle. Then we go into the 1 minute. And then the 1 minute, this is the first candle right here, this candle right here, that gave us a fair value gap and displacement outside of the opening range. I took a market sell at this level here, shooting stop loss was originally at this high, and we shot for Asia low, which is just about a 2R and 32 points. We're able to then move stops down to this low as price was displacing off. And we had full TP of our one contract at Asia low. We only made about $60 on that trade, and it wasn't my typical model. So I was willing to take, even though it was a green day, I was willing to take 2 more trades that were my model, not following just his, to see if we can maybe add on to those green days or add on to our green day and maybe end it a little better. And I wanted to also take my model to just practice taking it too. I wanted to actually just practice taking it and spotting. So this is our first trade, worked out perfectly. We targeted liquidity, Asia low, it hit it, took full TP. Couldn't have asked better. I was very happy with this trade. Yeah, very happy with it. I don't think anything was done wrong here. I think it was executed well. I think we had our TP at a perfect spot. I'm very happy with it. Now let's get into our next trades that we took that were following our 1 minute kill shot. Okay, first let's get into, before we look at those ones over here, this is where we got a signal, right? The 5 minute swept these lows that tapped into Asia low and failed to displace. For me, I was like, okay, if we fail to displace this low at Asia low, sweep it, and then push off of it, that's a good enough signal for me, in my opinion, to potentially go long. So that as soon as I saw the sweep of liquidity and I waited for this 5 minute candle to close, it was clear price did not want to displace this low. So I dropped down to the 1 minute and I waited for a inverse fair value gap. We had this inverse fair value gap here, but I wanted to see price to retrace, leaving us bearish fair value gaps, and then take the first inversion off the retracement. So we had the candle closure right about here on that 5 minute. We inverted this big fair value gap, but that's not the one I wanted to wait for. I waited for the retracement, which we got right here. And it gave us 2 fair value gaps to the downside, and I waited for that first inversion. We got the inversion right here. Entry on this level right here at the top of that inverse fair value gap. Stops at 10 points, take profit at 20 points, and literally we got tapped in and immediately stopped out. And in regards to my model execution, perfect. I don't think anything was done wrong here. What I could have done better, and what every loss, right, comes a learning opportunity. I think this was a big learning opportunity of something I can add to my confidences before I take a trade. If you look left here at all this bullish momentum, it was terrible. Very wicky, no fair value gaps, no real displacement. There's one fair value gap here, but then got immediately inverted on this candle. One, like, I don't even know if these are fair value gaps here, but they got inverted too. There was no like push off of the Asia low. And so in hindsight, what I can add to my model and what I'm going to journal and what I'm journaling here in this video is next time, look left. What do the bullish candles look like? If they're not giving you signs of clear momentum, maybe just pass on that trade, right? Worst case scenario, you miss a trade. Best case scenario, you don't get a loss. In hindsight, I should have looked left at all this price action here and said, this is too choppy. I should just ignore this, right? Which would have then also allowed me to ignore my next trade too. This 5 minute. This is our other long we took here. Price had this low here after having a market structure shift. Price not only once, but twice failed to displace this low, sweeping it and staying above that low. So for me, I went down to the 1 minute time frame. waited for price to invert a fair value gap, and it did right here. This fair value gap right here, we inverted that fair value gap. It's a small one, but it's still a fair value gap. It doesn't matter how big it is. All that matters is a fair value gap. We inverted it, limit order at the top of this inverse fair value gap, stop loss at 10 points, which I really love because it was at this low. Before you see all this price action, this was not here when we took the trade. It was at this low. We get tapped in, and then in 2 candles, we get stopped out. And at that point, I wasn't mad at my trade. I wasn't mad at what we're doing. I think we executed properly. They just didn't work today. So we ended the day actually red on NASDAQ. The accounts are in danger. They only have about $76 left in drawdown on some of our accounts. Some of our accounts have more. Some of our accounts have less. And I'm hoping that tomorrow we can catch some winners and really save these accounts. But today's 1 minute kill shot, they didn't work. It's a bummer. I needed them to work today. I really would have liked them to work today so we can kind of save those accounts. But I'm not upset with the losses. I think I executed properly. I waited for the confluences. I was very, very patient. They just didn't work out today, and that's okay. And as you can see, price has just been very choppy. It really hasn't, displaced one way or the other. I mean, look at this price action. This is really bad price action. So I think price will be pretty choppy up until tomorrow when we get those rate cuts. And then either tomorrow will give us pretty good price action, or Thursday, Friday will have excellent price action because we'll finally get a displacement outside in one direction or the other. I think a lot of the market has been really waiting for September's rate cuts announcement. This is probably the last really big news event, like really, really big news event that's going to happen in 2025. There's a lot weighing on tomorrow. And news doesn't come out until 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a later announcement too in the day, so we'll see how it all plays out. Here's today's final P and L for our NASDAQ trades. Very reasonable loss, $2,804. One winning day can get us back in the green, right? Look left. What is price doing? Is it displacing? Is it choppy? If it's choppy, skip out. If it's displacing and giving you fuel and showing you a direction it wants to go, okay, let's take that chance, right? So I think we learned a good lesson today, and I hope we're able to tomorrow catch some good trades. I'm going to be very patient, especially before news happens, to watch and see what does price want to do here, and then see if we can catch a trade after that. So we'll see how tomorrow plays out, and I'm excited. Rate cuts are here. If you can, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, or maybe you have a tip on ways I can do things better. I love hearing from you guys. I love being able to interact with you. So if you can, leave a comment, like, subscribe. Go follow me on Twitch and Kick. That's where I trade live every single day at market open. So go ahead and take advantage of that. And if you also want to utilize like some of my 10% off TradeSyncer or my WEEX deposit bonuses, or some of my other bonuses that I have with my affiliates, use the links down below or links in my bios, and go take advantage of those so you can also, just get a little bit extra, cash, or save a little bit extra cash where you can. All right, everyone, I'll see you tomorrow at market open if you go watch me on my live stream.